Okay, we're going to hop right into this financial update. I'm going to try to post this at some point today because I actually believe in my heart this is going to actually be a very momentous day for my future because of all the things that has transcribed in the last 24 hours that I think that I've done very, very well in setting up my future, and glad that I'm actually listening to the wisdom of somebody on my council. I'll say on my council, but I'll explain another time. Listen to two very big quotes from Warren Buffett about your financial future, and it seems like it's playing out exactly the way that he says it has. I like to listen to and educate myself from people that have done it for real in the field and with a level of wisdom that I can apply to my life, and this is crystal clear to me. So anyway, let's go into it. The stock I'm talking about is the triple EENF, EEENF. And I've been talking about this stock for about 2 weeks or so. And when I put it on my radar, everybody else that watches this radar, it was sitting around 2.5 cents. And some people even bought into it. Shout out James, by the way. But some people bought into it. Yesterday, it went all the way up to 9.1 cents for a reason. Because they were drilling. There's other stocks that have shot because of oil news, like MDMP and some other ones. And this was going to be no different, but they were drilling in an area that could absolutely dwarf anything that MDMP called out on. And MDMP went from 2 cents to 25 cents to 94 cents in the course of 2 days because of it. So I looked at the opportunity. Of course, the outstanding shares were different and their structure is a little different, but that just gives you an idea how fast something can run when news comes out, and especially where oil prices have been rising, the need for oil production is back, so everybody's jumping on it. So I was like, okay, I might have not gotten the full part of MDMP. I think I bought it at like 50 cents and sold it at 80 something, but I still made out really well. Imagine if I got it on the ground floor now, and then if something ran like that in the future, I actually have a lot more financial resources to put into something like this now at like 2.5 cents and let it run. Well, it started to run over the course of a couple of days. Initially, I was being too cute trying to day trade it, but then I held a position and then made out pretty well in unrealized gains. But I was thinking about that, especially like the day before they were supposed to make an announcement. Like, what am I going to do? Am I going to let the whole thing ride? Or am I going to learn from my past experiences, make sure I don't hold a bag, and I'm going to secure at least some profits and all my initial investment? Well, that's exactly what I did. Even though I know I was sitting with a lot of shares, and if it would have ran, I would have made less than, double what I could have made and stuff. I was like, but this is the smart decision. This is absolutely the smart decision. And I'm going to say this twice for two different reasons. Be fearful when other people are greedy, and be greedy when other people are fearful. This is where you have to have a level, not like cowardly fear, but you have to have a little level of fear when everybody's being really, really greedy and be like, wait a minute, it might seem a little too good to be true for whatever reason. I need to make sure that I protect myself. I was smart enough to jump in and ride the wave as far as intelligence will have you do, but before this announcement come out, you don't know if it's going to be great, good news or bad news. How can you protect yourself to make sure if there's bad news out there, you're not left holding a bag from your own initial investment? Well, it ended the day about 8.5 cents, and what is perceived now as bad news has caused the stock price to go all the way down. It was a little blip, so I'm not going to say this is the bottom, but about 1.5 cents today. That's a huge pull. It was down like 80%. It's like, wow. And if I would have kept my entire position in, then I would have lost not just all my profits, I'd be down of like my initial investment. But since I secured that yesterday, I have a different outlook on it. I can let it ride. I can actually sleep better, let it ride, and if it goes great, then fine, I didn't make as much, but if it goes the other way, like it did today, I'm not screwed holding the bag. So that very much worked out. So first, thank you to Warren Buffett. Second, thank you is the stock market is a great place to transfer money from the inpatient to the patient. Now, what I find is so crazy is that the drilling news came out that they broke a tool. The reason why they can't do all the assessments that they need to do down in the well, so they're going to have to come back to it at a later date. And that's what's causing the price to drop like this. But, and a huge but, and yes, I'm really hype about this, you can't fake this, but the huge but is this. What I find is so crazy is, yeah, they broke a tool, but they said the areas of hydrocarbon and potential oil was like 500 feet thicker. There were 3 zones of the hydrocarbons and all the stuff they're looking for. Instead of just looking for one, they actually found 1 or 2 other zones they didn't even know it existed. So it was so encouraging. Even there was an article that came out like, hey, this might be bigger than they actually originally thought, right? On top of that, they have another site, Charlie 1, that they drilled, but it was totally masked because of all the coronavirus and the oil was not needed whatsoever. They have that site that is a discovery, and then they're drilling, I think it's called Harrier or something. They're drilling that next. I think it's slated for 2022, but they're drilling next, which is right on the same line as Merlin 1. But also up north of it is Willow 1 from ConocoPhillips, which is a huge discovery. So they're right on the same line, so that's probably going to be a huge discovery. And they just bought out the old Navy wells from like the World War II and they have hydrocarbons inside of there. So they have all these resources. Now, I'm going to give you some conspiracy theory, but whatever. They have all these resources, and you're telling me because they broke a tool, they're going to, you're going to absolutely give up and tank the stock completely because you can't wait like a year? Which goes into the phrase again, be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. So now you're fearful because you can't wait, and you're impatient. You can't wait for the news for the other wells to come out within like the next year. Now, the conspiracy theory stuff, like look, the price went up. We know the drilling company got shares instead of $6 million. Well, they got shares at like 1.5 cents or so, 1.6 cents or some really, really low number. The stock price has been driving, right? If they would have sold like a quarter of their shares, or like that's like 6 cents, when it was like around 6, 7, or 8 cents or so, they would actually still have a lot of shares in hand, get paid completely what they would have gotten paid in the first place, and they know what they're sitting on. Right? Imagine they're like, hey, yeah, we just have a lot of oil, but do we want to give all these profits and all this money or whatever, or the share price, or if we're going to sell out to ConocoPhillips or ExxonMobil or whoever, are we going to do it at a higher price, or we're going to actually, come back low again and we'll work it out in the future? Is that a possibility? Yeah, I think that's a possibility. Is it ethical? No, sometimes that's how business works. I'm not naive, right? So there can be some deals been going on, and they can say, let's just write this thing up. We broke a tool. And they know how weak a lot of people are. And people just sold off today. Well, to finish out this video, because I'm a little too hyped, but to finish out this video and finish out the last part of that phrase to talk about being greedy when others are fearful. I smell fear, and lots of it. And you know what? This is the time I turned it on. I day traded a lot today, and I won on every single one of them. I day traded MDMP. I day traded LTNC. I day traded VPER. Day traded XFLS, FTXP, VBHI. Day traded all of them, won on every single one of them. Thank you. That's a shout out actually to the Laptop Legend, because I'm absolutely learning a lot from that Discord that I'm paying $25 a month for, and it's working out completely. I'm just listening to these people and how they're not getting attached to these stocks. And I'm taking those profits from not just that, because I made a good amount with there, and also have my original investment that I had over in 88 Energy, which is triple ENF, and I bought like times 5 shares of what I had, dropping my price from where I bought in to let it ride with House Money. Now my price per share for EEENF is a lot lower, and when I bought it, the price of the stock is starting to climb. So I'm actually making up all of the loss. I am like not losing. And I'm set up like with a lot of shares. I have a lot of shares in this at such a discount price. I'm just looking to next year now to like really change my life financially. And I'm in that position right now. I'm going to continue these other businesses to see if I can put more money into this. And like I said, I think this is absolutely going to be a momentous day in my life because I applied the education that I learned, the wisdom that I learned from a person like Warren Buffett to my life in the last 24 hours, and it could potentially change my life. I share this because if somebody is listening, especially one of my friends, but one of my subscribers, whatever, and you can apply this wisdom to your life in order to win and change your life, I hope for that. That's why I do this. I don't, for a personal record for me too, but if I can do something to help somebody else out, this way, I love that. And then I can take this money, because I don't need it all, to be honest, and I can move forward with the projects I have for my purpose in Philadelphia, and I just think I'm there. So thanks for watching. I know it's gone a little too long, but this is valuable. I believe these words have value, these actions have value, and I want to see how it plays out in the future, and maybe next year I'll replay this and update everybody and myself on how things turned out because of following wise advice. I hope you guys have a great day. I'm going to continue to buy when others are fearful, and I'm going to go forward with confidence. Have a great day.